guys. So, thought I'd introduce myself. I am Jordan. I'm going to teach you how to make 2 recipes today that are super easy and simple, and they're my favorite. They're my go-tos. They don't take very long, and the recipes can be made in advance. They can be used for very versatile things as well. So we are going to make gnocchi bolognese and also a 2-minute chocolate mousse using my favorite clean vegan protein. So basically, to start, we will be putting a pot of water on. So with gnocchi needs to be put into water and obviously boiled. I have not made the gnocchi today. If you have time, you can definitely make it. However, I've been working all day, so I haven't had time. What we're going to do is I have a pot of water ready on the boil over here. The reason I have done this is because it makes the whole process a lot easier, and you can make both these recipes within half an hour, if not less. So what you want to do is fill a pot and bring the water completely to the boil. So that is on. All right, now that the gnocchi water is on, what we're going to do is we're going to dice up the onion, the garlic, and the mushrooms. I will also be posting this recipe in the comments and linking it on my Instagram as well, so you guys will be able to save it too. For an onion. Sorry, there's a plane going overhead. I'm in like the flat path side. So basically, onion. Everyone cries when they're eating onions, right? My trick for this is use a very sharp knife, and you're going to keep the root on here. What you're going to do is, when you're using a knife, pinch grip one finger like this, the other finger is lightly gripping like that, and you loosely grip your hand around the back of it. Tucking your fingers underneath, you are able to chop the onion off. What you're going to do then is slice through the middle of the onion and peel it. I can hear the water boiling in the background at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the gnocchi in, because it makes the whole process a lot easier if you just do it as you go. One of my biggest tips when cooking or doing anything is just thinking of cooking like a dance, like a whole process, cleaning as you go, timing things, multitasking. So the onion is peeled like this. We've kept the root on here. Now the reason I've kept the root on is the way that I'll cut it, which I'll show you exactly what to do. Holding the knife like I showed you. Just be mindful that your water's boiling. What you're going to do is you're going to place your hand like this and put it on the knife. The reason you're putting your fingers up is because you don't want to obviously slice it. Being very careful. I wonder if you guys can see this a bit better if I move the board here. Okay, so being very careful, what you're going to do is you're going to make incisions into the onion. Now, you've made 2 incisions here, like that. Now, using the pinch grip that I showed you previously, you're going to run your knife, making incisions vertically, and you're going to do the same thing with this onion. Always bringing your fingers back as you go. You want to feel the knife down the blade of your knuckles, that way you're protecting them. So you can see here that the onion is diced like that. Now what you're going to do is begin to use the knife in a rowing-like motion. So you're going to go like this. The reason you're doing that is the knife blade doesn't leave the board, and then that way you can get a smooth cut. Keep moving your hands back, you should be able to get the onion all in one go. And literally all you're left with is the root of the onion. So you can do this finer if you want, but the onion is fine like this. I'll show you. It's a super easy, quick way to dice it. Now, I'm just using this gnocchi. It's fine to use. You can make it if you want, but that takes a lot longer. My water has come to the boil. In the water, I have salt and a little bit of olive oil. And all you do with gnocchi is you drop it into the water, and once it begins to float to the top, it's ready. You take it out straight away, which I will show you, but the water needs to be boiling. While I'm there, I've turned my frying pan onto a medium heat. This will slowly heat whilst I get everything else ready. So usually I wouldn't buy a garlic like this, but there was nothing else. So the garlic, what you're going to do is using the back end of the knife, you're going to place the garlic on the board and you're going to crush it. The reason you crush it is it's easy to take the skin off, just like that. Okay, so the skin comes off super easy like that. And then my big tip for garlic is this, I'll show you, is salt. So you can see the garlic here. What I'm going to do is sprinkle salt onto the garlic. The reason I do this is because salt draws out moisture. Salt draws out moisture, making the garlic easy to mince. Again, knife loosely gripped, and you begin to pull it against the wall. Sorry, there's a plane again. So what you're doing is you're pressing the grains of salt into the garlic, which is letting you mince it. This way you don't have to go and buy that nasty jarred garlic, and you can mince it yourself seriously in like, what, this has taken me 15 seconds to do. So I will show you, and there you have minced garlic. 2 seconds to do. You're just going to put that with the onion. Now the next thing we are going to do is get your mushrooms ready. You don't have to put mushrooms in bolognese. I like them in there personally. It's totally up to you. And then don't forget to check your gnocchi. I will show you, actually, no, I won't show you. Basically the gnocchi has, you should be able to see, it's all floated to the top like this. All you need to do is strain it. And strain it, splash of water onto it, a little bit of olive oil, that stops it from sticking together, and that way you can mix it all together properly. So I'm literally just going to do a tiny bit of olive oil. That is it, and I'll leave it there in the intro. What about, whereabouts in the world are you? I am in Sydney, Australia. So I'm just going to chuck a little bit of olive oil on here. It will stop it from, oh fuck, oh, I'm meant to swear on here. So I'm going to be coming live all the time with recipes, so if you want to see anything in particular, let me know. I've been a chef for 10 years now, so I can cook anything. With the mushrooms, you are just literally going to dice them. So slice them in half, just depending on how you like them. If you like them to be diced up, or if you like slices of them, that's completely up to you. I like to have slices. So like I showed you guys before, you're going to use your fingers and tuck them under and use a pinch grip, and then you're just going to begin to slice down the back of the mushroom. By the accent. Yeah, I'm super Aussie. I don't think I could be any more Aussie. So the pan is on a medium heat at the moment. I'm going to add the olive oil, just 1 tablespoon. And then in the meantime, while I am adding it, what we're going to do is pick some rosemary. To you how much rosemary you want to put. I like to use like a whole sprig, and then you're just going to lightly dice that up as well. So now you have all your key ingredients chopped and ready to go. This makes it a lot easier for the whole process. I have my beef mince also ready. I'm going to use 500 grams. This will make enough dinner. It will also make you enough lunch if you're just the only person eating it. Or you can also turn this into like spaghetti bolognese. You could turn it into shepherd's pie, kind of whatever you want. It's just a super easy combination to do. So I'm going to bring the camera over this side and I'll be able to show you how I'm doing it all in the pan at the moment. Okay, we are moving. So, as you can see, we have the pan on a medium heat here. And what we're going to do first is put all the onion and garlic in. You're going to add some pepper now. And also salt. So you use salt because salt draws out the moisture and it helps to saute the onions. We're just going to saute the onions and garlic now for about 2-3 minutes. This again draws out the moisture. It starts to activate the flavour as well, and then the salt is making the onions softer. It doesn't really matter what salt you use. I like Himalayan rock salt, that's fine. So just keep that on a medium sort of heat. Saute the onions for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Once that's ready to go, you're going to add in the mushrooms and then tomato paste, which I will show you obviously everything else are going. Now, whilst this is all cooking out, what we're going to do at the same time is make a really easy chocolate protein mousse. It's like a 4-ingredient recipe. One of my favorites to use the clean vegan protein with, and then also you get to have dessert. It's, if you are counting calories and macros, it is super easy to track, and also just recipes as well. So, whilst we're waiting, what you are going to need for, let's move it all out. What you're going to need for this clean chocolate mousse is my favorite. This is my favorite protein in the whole world. Obviously, that would make sense because I'm on here, but it literally, like being a chef and having to cook with protein all the time because I own a meal prep company, and that's what we use. This is by far made like my baking with desserts a lot easier. So this is cooking out. You can see what will happen with the onions. It will become sort of translucent. This is what you're looking for before you add in the mushrooms. So for this chocolate protein mousse, all you need is also, if you have any cooking questions along the way, feel free to totally ask me. I can confidently say I can answer most cooking questions. So what you are doing now is sauteing the onions and then putting the mushrooms in. So you can add the mushrooms in now. We're also adding the rosemary that we pre-cut as well. At this point, turn the pan up. Mushrooms love heat, so by adding some extra heat to the pan and salt, what's going to happen is the mushrooms are going to cook out faster, and also you're going to draw out the moisture. Mushrooms don't like water very much, so it's nice to cook it out. Also, we are going to add some thyme. Add this to taste. I like a fair bit of it. And that's that. So while that's sauteing away, we're making this quick chocolate mousse. All you need is coconut yogurt. Preferably pick a coconut yogurt that has a thicker consistency. The ones that are sort of a bit, I know yogurt is obviously wet. If you pick one that's, I guess, more gelatinous, it works better for this. You're going to add 250 grams of yogurt. I like a vanilla-based one. It's one of my favorites. The next thing is cacao powder. The reason I add the cacao powder is just to make it a little more chocolatey. There's also fantastic antioxidants in cacao, so that's why I like it. While the mushrooms are sauteing, you've got the mousse ready to go. Just don't forget about them because you're going to keep cooking the gnocchi as we go. As you've seen, the gnocchi sauce is already ready. We're just going to use tomato paste now. 2 tablespoons of this. So you've added the 2 tablespoons, and tomato paste needs to be cooked out as well because tomato paste or tomatoes are acidic. And by adding some heaps of tomatoes, it helps to bring out the sweetness. You can also add a pinch of sugar if you want, or even maple syrup is really awesome in bolognese, just to bring out the sweetness and cut through the acidity. It kind of would just depend on what you would like. So basically all we're doing now is beginning to cook out the tomato paste. In the recipe I created, I don't actually have maple syrup in it, but I am going to add a splash. If you don't have maple syrup, add sugar if you want sugar. Add coconut, like coconut sugar, it doesn't really matter. And then let that cook out. That will take about 3 minutes to cook out, so it gives you plenty of time to jump over back to the chocolate mousse. So, chocolate mousse, coconut yogurt. In the recipe, I've done 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to eye weigh it because I like to do that. And then my favorite, so I think it's like 135 calories for 45 grams of this. Up to you, but I usually go about 30 grams depending on what your protein intake is for the day and if you are wanting to add more protein into your calories. And then also maple syrup is the last ingredient. So as you can see over here, what we've done is we've just cooked out all the bolognese ingredients. We're going to turn the heat back up now, and we are going to deglaze the pan with some red wine. If you don't have red wine, vinegar is okay. You can use a splash of like red wine vinegar or balsamic. It just helps with acidity as well, so up to you if you want to add it or not. So the reason that we are adding it and deglazing it is because basically when you are sauteing things, it is catching to the bottom of the pan. By adding something that's acidic, basically it lifts everything up off the bottom, and that way we can sort of save some flavors. So add your splash of red wine, and then with the wooden spoon, rub the bottom of the pan, making sure you get up anything that's stuck onto it. By now, it literally smells insane. Add your beef mince. And you're just going to let that begin to slowly cook out. So, now that's going. Gnocchi is already chilled. It hasn't even been half an hour yet, and we've made dinner, lunch, and we're making dessert. Everything's in a bowl. All you're going to do is slowly whisk it. If you're worried about lumps in this, you can use like a whisk, or you could sieve the ingredients first. Once you've combined the mix of it, you can then grab the whisk. Okay. Grab a whisk and just get out any lumps. And that is that. So this is the chocolate mousse. That was 4 ingredients. It took 2 minutes. What I'm going to do is transfer it to another bowl, which will look nicer, and then also so that pan is just on a high sort of heat, and I'm just letting all the mince cook out now before I add the rest of the tomatoes. So all we have left to add now is the tinned tomatoes or tomato sauce, like puree, and that is literally it. The mousse is going to get popped into the fridge. So what we do for this is this protein powder. Clean vegan one. It is the best for baking. Literally the best. Baking, cooking, anything. Look, you can see how thick this is. It seriously makes the most fluffy, efficient chocolate mousse. That is fantastic for calorie wise. Tastes amazing. And it's perfect for your kids if anyone's on here that is has kids and their kids are wanting something sweet in this time while we're all in isolation and we're not moving as much. Way more calorie friendly. So that is the chocolate mousse. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop it in the fridge and it will set a little bit more. And then this is just cooking out. So basically, when I'm cooking bolognese, if I had time, I would cook the bolognese out for like an hour and a half. But this is just an easy family, healthy dinner that doesn't take very long at all. And also is just perfect with sort of leftover ingredients. Everyone generally has beef mince, these herbs, and tinned tomatoes. So it's pretty easy. All you're going to do is just continually break up the mince as well. Once the mince is all broken up, you can add your tinned tomatoes. In my recipe, I've written tinned tomatoes, but as everybody knows, at the moment it's pretty hard to get stuff from Coles. This is all I could find. It is exactly the same. So I'm going to add half a jar of this. Usually it's 1 tin of tomatoes, but this is 680 grams, so usually just 400 grams. And all that happens now is we just cook this out. We just keep breaking the mince up. We taste it if it needs to be seasoned. But I suggest that you do it at the very end after after all the juices have begun to cook. Now you just want to turn it down to a medium heat. You want it to simmer away. The maple syrup helps to bring out the sweetness of the tomatoes. And then also we have red onion in there, which helps to be sweet as well. And then we add in a little bit of red wine, which helps with the acidity to cut through everything, and tomato paste to make it more rich. I'm sure you noticed as I went as well, what I've done is I've cleaned up as I went, so that way there's no mess now. We can just literally mix everything together and we are done. It has taken, I don't know how long I've been on here for. I haven't been on here for very long and it's already done. So super simple. If you have any questions about this like 20-minute dinner and dessert, let me know before I plate this up and show you exactly how it works. This will serve roughly, it would serve me if I was eating it, but usually it's a serving for like 4 people. I just eat a lot. And then what we're going to do is, to mix it, grab your original gnocchi pot, tip the gnocchi back in. Gnocchi is back in the pot. And this needs about, I guess, 5 more minutes, but that's how quick all of this is. You don't need much longer. What I'll do is I will post these recipes on my own Instagram page. That way you'll be able to grab them as well. If you need the calories and macros, it's super simple to work out. All my recipes are calorie friendly. Or if they're not calorie friendly, just eat a small portion. But yes, super straightforward. So as you can see, this is literally all cooked out now. It smells delicious. All I'm going to do is add a bit more pepper, add a bit more salt, and then taste it. We're good to go. And then straight into here. Wow. So as you can see, this will easily serve like a mum and a dad, family of 4, mum and dad and 2 kids, up to you, or otherwise 2 people. If you're not going to be eating it all this evening or all the, like at night time, this is perfect for lunch. If you're not going to use all the gnocchi at once, all you need to do is keep the mince separately, and you can make shepherd's pie with it or something. So what we're going to do is we're going to serve this now. Add some Parmesan cheese. And there you have it. We literally made in 20 minutes, if not less, Gnocchi Bolognese and chocolate mousse, which is in the fridge. I will grab that. So 2 things, you have dinner and dessert. I know that doesn't look that appealing, but once it sets a little bit more, what you can do is you can add mixed berries and nuts to it. I like to eat mine just like that. However, that's completely up to you. This is also perfect for 2 servings for people. I would not eat the whole thing of that myself. It's a lot. It's not super rich, but it's filling. It's got protein powder in it. So yes, 2 meals, 20 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know before I jump off, but I'm going to be coming back on here all the time. And then also over on my Instagram pages, Jordan Hartley Health, I post recipes every second day. All my recipes I make with the Body Science protein, so if you are a fan of the vegan one, it's absolutely perfect. I use it to bake for everything, and all my recipes that I've made on that page are using that protein powder. And if you feel like you need to reach out, you've got any questions about these recipes, 100% jump on Jordan Hartley Health, and I would love to answer your questions regarding anything to do with food. Thanks, guys.